Kiev's financial despairs have struck a harmonious chord in the West, singing the sweet tune of helping Ukraine's hefty debt relief through Western bondholders. But why, you ask? Well, it's all part of the grand plan for the US to swoop in and take the reins of Ukraine. Ukraine's indebtedness to Western powers will help in extending US influence well into the future of Ukraine. And what is the US's play in this economic drama? Using Ukraine's debt crisis as a strategic tool to play puppet master in the Russia-Ukraine saga. To all those who think Russia is threatening Ukraine's sovereignty, no, not true. According to some, it's Uncle Sam silently setting up camp in Ukraine, all under the guise of geopolitical chess. So while some fret over Russia's intentions, others point the finger at the US, who is quietly orchestrating Ukraine's fate from behind the scenes.
Welcome to TFI Global, the antidote to mass delusion.
In a riveting revelation by the Financial Times, the ultimate cure for Ukraine's economic blues is apparently private debt forgiveness. Kiev's financial forecast is as gloomy as a rain cloud over Chernobyl, prompting our British comrades to shout from their editorial rooftops for Western bondholders to bail them out. The reminders that Ukraine's debt drama started way back in 2015, well before the war with Russia started. Balancing war loans with old debts is like juggling fireballs, exciting to watch but ends in a fiery mess. And if the US is involved in the process, the result could only be scarier. FT insists that Ukraine needs a generous dose of Western cash to rebuild itself once they're done playing war. The US is looking forward to building the wall to let Americans sit in those rooms to command Ukraine. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, $20 billion is hanging in the balance, which is chump change compared to Ukraine's whopping $152 billion debt. Payments on this financial roller coaster have been paused since the conflict began, but they are about to hit play again, adding more drama to Ukraine's already tragic financial opera. Recently, the G7 tried to act like a hero with a plan to slash Ukraine debt by 60%. Investors were not impressed and countered with a discount coupon for 20% off. Tough deal. With the war dragging on longer than a Ukrainian winter, negotiating debts has become trickier than finding vodka in a dry county. The Financial Times came out with 3 options for Ukraine: default, delay, or beg for a bigger discount. None of the options looks good when they are already being hit by bullets on the front lines. Oh, and let's not forget the Guardian's annual Most Corrupt in Europe award, a title Ukraine has proudly defended for decades. Recent scandals involving defense bucks disappearing into thin air just add spice to the corruption stew. This scandal led to the dismissal of Ukraine's defense minister, Oleksiy Reznikov, highlighting endemic corruption within the government's military expenditures. Investors have always been lukewarm on Ukraine, even before the tanks rolled in. West has become their financial aid, but Uncle Sam's generosity might be wearing thin. Public opinion in the US is now debating whether Ukraine is a charity case or just a really expensive pen pal. But fear not, while Ukraine struggles to pay its bills, investment companies like BlackRock and JP Morgan Chase are circling like vultures, eyeing those exciting reconstruction contracts, because nothing says humanitarian aid like a hefty profit margin. In the grand game of geopolitics, the US is hitching their policy wagon to Ukraine's financial woes, They are trying to carve out a front row seat in Putin's backyard. US profit from Ukraine's debt is immense. Through Ukraine's financial vulnerability, US is taking hold of Ukraine and directing Kiev policies that blatantly oppose the Kremlin, which would further invite aggression from Putin. US is just making Ukraine a more serious enemy of Russia while taking financial profits home. Who needs enemies when you have friends like these? So next time you hear about Ukraine's financial woes, remember it's not just about the money. It's about power, influence, and getting a really good deal on someone else's crisis. Ukraine might be fighting on ground, but it seems like Uncle Sam is calling the shots from the sidelines. It is stupid to see Ukraine falling into the US trap.